name is Vishnu and I'm a senior GRE expert here at GRE. We're going to be talking to you about how important it is to use the right set of materials for your GRE preparations. By the end of the seminar, I hope I would be able to help you guys enough to fix which study material would suit you the most. All right. When I talk about review of study materials, there are two types of materials outlined. Talking about books would not make much of a sense because, the ideology behind the entire GRE preparations to help you guys understand how crucial it is to go for an offline and online mode of coaching, right? So now let us establish an agenda and what we shall be talking today. The agenda is offline practice materials. What are the offline practice materials available? And what are the online practice materials available? The pros and cons of both the sections. And then we shall be talking about the offline coaching versus the online coaching. All right. So that is what we're going to talk about primarily. And the next thing is we also have a Q&A session as promised. We'll also talk about that in the end of the session. Now, Rudra says he's struggling with verbal. All right. So, Rudra, may I know which section of verbal is troubling you the most? Or RC. So, I believe our ebook was helpful enough for you. Karamveer also says RC. All right. So, guys, Nikhil, Ramakrishna, Ranjit Reddy, Ravi, which is the most difficult part in your exact GRE examination, as in the verbal part? So, Sri Harshas also says RC. So, this is the reason actually we compile an ebook that might be very helpful for most of you guys. So, have you guys got the ebook? Have you downloaded the ebook from your mail ID? So, Rudra says, yes, I'm going through the RC ebook. So, Mahendra Devi Reddy says he does not have the ebook as of now. Karamveer also says no. All right, for the people who have not got the ebook yet, let me just provide you a link where you can access the ebook if that will be helpful enough. So would you guys be willing to take this ebook? So Rudra says it is very, very useful. Thank you, Rudra. In fact, if you give us more and more feedbacks, we'll be very happy to improve upon the ebook and try to provide you as much information as possible. So Abhimanyu says he also wants the ebook. All right, so I'll be giving you a link where you can download the ebook, guys. So just patiently wait for a few minutes. All right, so I have put across the link to most of you guys. Just see if you're able to get the link right now. Have you guys got the link? go.gl1. All right, so Rudra says yes. So guys, just go to this link. You will be able to download the ebook on how to crack tough RCs, which might be very, very, very helpful. In fact, if you have any sort of opinion on any way to improve this feedback, any book you like to have, just mail me at info@greh.com. I'll be very happy to take up your feedback and improve upon it. All right, so now let's get back to the online seminar in hand. So what are the offline available materials is what we need to talk about. So ETS, I think pretty much a lot of people know about the ETS GRE official guide that comes with four complete real tests. Two are available using the included CD-ROM. Hundreds of test questions, a detailed description of verbal reasoning and quantitative reasoning content. So I'm pretty sure everyone is aware of this book, right? ETS GRE, the official guide. Or I see a lot of yes from the audience right now. So I believe you guys know about this book. And the next book that we talk about is the 624 Barron's one, a very kind of old book, the 21st edition. It has been revised every year and constantly changed. But then the questions stay the same. It has one diagnostic test. Again, that is offline. It is a book preparation with two full-length model tests of the actual structure in GRE. All right. This is one more book that could be helpful for most of you guys. The next thing is a Kaplan's GRE Premier 2015. The comprehensive new package includes strategies, test taking, instructions, and practice questions. But again, this is a huge book actually. If you look at it, it's quite a heavy book as well. The next book that you need to talk about is the most important part of it, right? Now, how many of you guys believe that? How many of you guys like learning from books? Like when you see a big book, do you even feel like going through it? No, says Akriti. No, says Lavanya. Yes, says Mahendra. No, says Yaminini Shrikant. Not at all, says Rudra. So a huge variety of the audience say no, and a very small audience like Nikhil Raven said yes. So the idea is, one thing I want to make very, very clear is, guys, the exam you're going to give GRE is completely an online adaptive exam. All right. So when you look give an adaptive exam, you also need to understand what an exact idea it is. uh, Adaptive exam is something that will be constantly changed, constantly different according to your present experience. It's a very dynamic in nature. Now this kind of a approach is never understood or never been able to be stimulated in a offline book kind of environment. So that is the huge problem for the students faced in for the people who join GREH. Most of them tell me this one problem when they join first. This is an orientation questionnaire we have when you join GREH, trying to understand what problems we have, what problems you have, so they will be able to give a very personalized solution. You wouldn't believe 60% of the students who join GREs say that my because of my learning in books, I am not able to go ahead. Books scare me. They're very huge ones, right? So this is why we recommend most of the students to go for online teaching, because a real-time experience of a GRE exam. It whenever you learn, you will be learning exactly in a GRE type of atmosphere. And understanding of how an online adaptive exam and practice for time management is very, very crucial. When you use books to learn, one thing you will understand is that you cannot time yourself. You'll have to pick up a what do you say, um, alarm clock next to you, just to understand how much time you take, and to enter you switch off the alarm as well. Instead, if you had a timer that monitors every question you spend without even you knowing it, at the end of the test it says that you used this much time for each question, and this is exactly where you want to improve upon. Would that be efficient, or would the offline be efficient? If you're willing to work very hard and smart, you can get a good score. Trust me. If you use books, you can do that. But is it all worth it? GRE, I'm pretty sure we have a lot of students here in the audience as of now, right? In fact, working professionals as well. How much time do you have every day for your GRE exam? How much time will you be able to devote for your GRE exam? 1.5 hours, says Lavanya. Very less, says Nikhil. 1 hour, says Shriyacha. 2 hours, says Mahendra. We understand that your time is very, very efficient. 2 hours, says Raymond. 3 hours, says Yamini. Now, if you have a huge book, and if you're going to spend 2 hours every day, how long would it take for you to finish that book? A year. A year, says Deepak. All right. 10 months. All right. So that is something that you guys can you guys afford to have such a long time for your very genuine GRE exam? Given the fact that most of you guys are aiming for a spring 17 aspirants, you'll have to give your GRE exam as early as possible. Now, that is one con of using a book. All right. Now, let us look at the offline coaching, online coaching classes. Now, there are online coaching is lot of places, like a lot of online platforms are available. One advantage of online platform is that you can avail like comfort from your home every day. You don't have to travel almost 10 minimum 10 to 1 hour minutes to travel for your GRE classes, and then you could sit in your home, save that time, and read in your own comfort. So this is one of the pros and cons of online and offline education, guys. So what do you guys think is the best approach for your own? Ankita R has a fantastic feedback. Thank you so much, Ankita. Ankita says, I'm doing my GRE coaching at GRE, and I recommend people attending this seminar to take up this amazing online coaching. I get motivated through the feedbacks given by my SFAs, and that boosts me up to learn efficiently. Thank you so much, Ankita. It was a huge feedback. I'll definitely convey your regards to the SFAs. You're very, very happy for us to have you here. So, to the rest of you guys, I hope that talks about that shows how important it is to have an online coaching platform. So now, are books really effective is the question in hand. One main advantage of using a book alone is that they're unable to provide feedback of any kind. For example, say Mahendra or Nikhil make a mistake in, say, a verbal section in a text completion question. The book would not understand that you gave this answer and why you gave that answer. But if you have an SFA talking to you or online, they'll be able to understand your exact thinking and provide you a proper feedback so that you will never ever repeat the mistake. Now, would anyone actually repeat a mistake if they've gotten a feedback on a question? No, says Revant. No, says Harsha. Welcome back, Harsh. Never, says Deepak. So that is one ideology that we follow that will help you out. Now, let us take an example to understand this better. All right. So, say you want to learn swimming. All right. You have two approaches. So, there's two approaches. One is you swim in a pool with a trainer, and then you learn swimming in class, right? Which do you think will work better? Say you learn by the first approach for 10 days, the same approach you learn with the second approach in 10 days. Which approach do you think will work better? Nikhil says trainer. First, obviously, says Harsh. One says Rajat Reddy. Precisely what we want most of you guys to do as well. It's a proven technique that it helps when you learn GRE by online, and it is also there are a lot of numbers that provides that GRE students who practice online can get more advantage over the online versus offline coaching classes. All right. So if you talk more about the advantages in terms of flexible and convey, how many of you guys can travel every day for 1 hour? Like, are you fine with wasting time every day for 1 hour? No, says Mahendra. That flexibility is what you get in online coaching classes. Choosing an online prep course means you prepare your own schedule. How awesome it will be that you will be able to prepare your own schedule. Whenever you want to give time for your GRE, you can give your GRE preparations, right? So a lot of people might be learners at 1 p.m., 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. Certain people might like to read at 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Would you have coaching classes at those times? I wish. All right. No, says Yamini Shrikant. Not possible, says Rakshita. So that is the underlying phenomenon behind the flexible and convenient reading. Now, again, to talk about books, all right, there are certain books that have phenomenal chapters. For example, in Kaplan, there are certain chapters that are very, very, very helpful. In certain books like Parents, the word learning is very, very helpful. In ETS, the tests are very, very helpful. Now, instead of moving around three different books, what if I told you all these materials can be kept in one place and you can access that? That's the core advantage of online training. And in fact, it would not be like everyone will get access to every material. Now, can you guys tell me which is your weaker area? Overall GRE, what's your most weakest area? Harsha, Yemeni, Rudra, Revant, Shri Harsha, guys tell me. Vocabulary says Nikhil. AWA says Abhimanyu. Algebra says Yemeni. Verbal says Rudra. All right. Now, is it better that Harsh Rudra gets more materials on verbal while Yamini gets more material on algebra, or is it better if you all of you get the same materials? Which approach is better? Different materials, right? So whichever personalized approach towards training and materials feedback is what will help you the most. That is what personalized learning is. Now, when you're able to get that kind of materials, you'll be able to focus more on your own weaker areas and understand that better. All right. And apart from this webinar, how many of you guys know actually about Jenny and how did you get to know about it? Just had to research online, says Karan Sharma. From online, says Yamineni. Google, says Nikhil. Google, says Vignesh. Internet, says Harsh. So internet, yes, is a huge provider of information. Now, would you guys be able to surf all the information and get it together? Or if there's one person who have trained almost 2,000 students in GRE giving you one-on-one personal tutoring to understand GRE better? Personalized approach, says Harsh. All right. So now that being said, this one-on-one tutoring would be huge advantage for you. Now let's leave all that. All right, let's leave all that. When you read using the books, or when you go for offline coaching class, is there any way that you can track how you perform? Is there any way that you can measure how much you have learned? Is there any way that you know that I have mastered 1,230 words in my life? Would that be possible? No, says Shriasha. No, the sad smiley, says Akriti. No, says Nikhil. No, says Yamineni. Now, is that an efficient approach, guys? Now, if you're not able to measure what you learn, is that even really effective? Would you guys know at the end of 1 month or 2 months, okay, I remember so much I can give Jerry? Would you be confident? Not sure, says Bhargavi, no way, says Harsh. So this performance tracking is the huge benefit that you get in any online platform. The moment you finish a test, you receive a full analysis of the performance along with the areas you're strong and weak at. Now, if there is a huge pile of questions and it says that in quant, Revant, you're weak in algebra, you have to work upon that. And Mahendra says you're weak in permutation combination, you have to work on that. Now, with that kind of a feedback, would you be able to improve, or would you stand in the same place like you do? Improve, says Harsh. Improve, says Revant, right? So that is the fundamental understanding behind the study materials, guys. Instead of going behind which book to prefer, which book to understand, take up an online platform and try to get the questions out of that and try to solve whichever you're weak in. All right, that would help you improve better because you're not basically bio students, or you're not people who do not know max at all. You guys are engineers, you guys are working professionals, you know what it is. Now all you need is a little assistance to push you guys better, right? Now am I do you guys agree that you don't need a very basic, you don't need to understand the ABCD of GRE? Am I right? Yes, says Mahendra. Yes, says Ash. Exactly. Now, all you need is a little nudge from the experts to help you that, listen, guys, this is what you need to do. Do this and master your GRE. So, I believe this kind of an online platform will be able to do that with the proper performance tracking. But actually, the idea is, the philosophy is, you learn, you practice, and you feedback, and you get feedbacks, right? Now, this will happen in an online platform which will help you far better than any other source of learning. Going behind books is never going to help you guys get a good score. I'll be very honest, because we have seen students who always use their books, they come back to GRE Edge and then get the 8 point, 12 point score boost guarantee programs. So don't make that mistake, because a GRE exam costs about 12,000 rupees. All right. Would you guys really want to waste that money? Do you really want to pay that again? No, says Nikhil. No, says Yaminini. Right. So that is the precisely the reason behind the objective behind this online seminar, to guys to help you understand which would help you much better. All right. So I hope that I was able to give you a lot of information for today's online seminar. But right now, as I promised, here is the intense Q&A session that you can ask me any questions. I'll be very happy to answer today. So I have the first question with me. Akriti wants to know, how can you measure learning? How many of you guys have this question as well? All right. See, guys, I may not be able to help you understand that how to get a demo of the LT. We have something called a learning tracker. How many of you guys know what a learning tracker is in GRE Edge? Any of you know what a learning tracker is? No idea. Says Harsh. All right, Harsh. So, guys, you have not realized the very basic criteria of GRE Edge. The learning tracker is a huge, big platform that we have. If you guys are really interested in knowing about GRE Edge learning tracker, just go click on start learning now in the GREH platform. All right, so I hope that answers every one of your questions, but do not worry. If you have any more questions, the number is on your screen right now, 988 Just WhatsApp us, call us, SMS, anything. We'll be very happy to take up your questions and answer it right away.